What's going on, everyone? So we got some news and updates in regards to Dejounte Murray potentially heading to the Los Angeles Lakers. Jovan Buha of The Athletic gave us an update. Now, the news isn't great. There is some bright spots to it, but not the best news that we were hoping for in that headway of getting a trade done sooner rather than later. So, according to Jovan Buha, trade discussions between the Lakers and Hawks on a deal for Murray have stalled. However, talks are expected to pick back up closer to the deadline, Buha added. Now, we do have, according to Jovan Buha, the framework done for a potential deal with Atlanta. So this is what it is. So the Lakers and Hawks have discussed potential framework of a deal surrounding Dejounte Murray, sources tell Jovan Buha. So the Lakers would receive Dejounte Murray, and Atlanta would receive D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, 2029 first-round pick, in additional draft compensation. Now, that could be a couple second-round picks. That could be a pick swap. Lakers are very limited as far as, like, draft assets go. So chances are it's probably at worst, it's a pick swap. At best for the Lakers, it would be, maybe like 2 seconds, something along those lines. And this obviously doesn't have Atlanta super enticed because they want Austin Reeves. There have been reports and rumors that if the Lakers were willing to part with Austin Reeves, they could probably get the deal done right now. Personally, I think if you could trade Austin Reeves instead of the first, get the deal done immediately. Like, let's say Atlanta was willing to do Austin Reeves, Jalen Hood-Schifino. You'd have to throw in another salary, whatever that is, take your pick. And a pick swap rather than the first round pick. And you could keep the first and you still have D'Lo. Because if you go get Dejounte Murray, you got to trade D'Lo. Right? I am all for keeping D'Lo over Austin Reeves. I don't care either way. But if you're going to go get a point guard in Dejounte Murray, there's no point in keeping D'Angelo Russell. So to me, my thinking would be give up Reeves. That's what Atlanta really wants. You get the deal done now for Dejounte Murray. You could use between now and the trade deadline to see how does Dejounte Murray look with the rest of this roster? What other upgrades do you need in what other areas? And then you could look to move D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura. You still have a first-round pick. You'd still have a couple seconds and maybe upgrade in some other areas and really just kind of revamp this roster with just another all-star and a bunch of quality upgrades. Or even with Atlanta, go get a Clint Capella. Go get a Bogdan Bogdanovic. I like the idea of Sadiq Bey, right? So now the framework just means that this is kind of where both teams are at, right? Obviously, more could be added, more could be subtracted. It's just kind of like, hey, this is what we're willing to offer for Dejounte Murray, and neither side was able to come to an agreement, right? Now, the thing is that the Lakers aren't going to wait around forever. Do the Lakers wait till the trade deadline to get a deal done for Dejounte Murray, right? Now, look, the Lakers have been playing much better the last handful of games. D'Angelo Russell has been excellent these last handful of games. Even when he was playing 16 minutes, he was still giving you 12 points in that 16-minute span. So D'Lo has been very solid in that time. Lakers are looking to flip D'Lo for Dejounte Murray. So, if the Lakers keep playing the way that they're playing right now, then there's no real rush or urgency because the Lakers will climb that mountain. But if they start getting back into old habits and, are the team we saw for 3 weeks or whatever it was post the in-season tournament, well, now it's you kind of don't have a choice, right? Look, the way I look at it for the Lakers, and I understand it's negotiation tactics, right? The Lakers don't want to put the best deal on the table right now. If you can get Dejounte Murray for what you ultimately want to get rid of, then you go get Dejounte Murray for what you ultimately want to get rid of. But to me, it's if you're the Lakers, how much do you value Dejounte Murray? Do you think Dejounte Murray is a game changer? If you think he is, then if you have to unload Austin Reeves, you unload Austin Reeves. I understand he's on a team-friendly deal. I understand that, he could be a key piece not only now, but for the long term, especially if Dejounte Murray can get back to that all defensive guard, then you can kind of get away with him and Austin Reeves in the starting or closing lineups. I get all that. But Dejounte Murray is a better player than Austin Reeves. And you'd be getting a clear upgrade. If you don't value Dejounte Murray as a real game changer, then why not go look for multiple pieces that you believe will? Right? If Dejounte Murray by himself isn't enough to unload what you want to unload, why not go look to go get multiple other pieces and kind of upgrade in other areas, keep Austin Reeves if you want, and maybe you don't have to give up a first, right? Maybe you are just giving up a bunch of, like the Lakers have like 4 or 5 tradable seconds, something like that. So maybe you're trading a couple seconds to go get, 2 or 3 guys to kind of come in, fill a role, fill a need, and then you still have everything you need come trade deadline to where maybe you can make a deal. And then if you can swap D'Lo for Murray, then fine, go swap D'Lo for Murray. Because it kind of seems like the Lakers are 1 foot in, 1 foot out with Dejounte Murray. Like they like him, but they don't like him enough to put a real offer out. Again, like I said, a lot of that could just be negotiation tactics. It's early, but the Lakers could get a deal done sooner rather than later. And they kind of need to get a deal done sooner rather than later. And the sooner you get the deal done, the better it is for just your team. Because, if you could get the deal done now, that gives you an extra, 2.5 weeks between now and the trade deadline when likely this deal gets done, if it gets done. And it's like, that's an extra, 10 games or whatever that you would actually get to build chemistry, build understanding, right? See what other things you need, right? Like, what clear upgraded areas still have the negotiations? I don't know. I lean towards like if you believe Dejounte Murray is your guy, which he does make sense, especially post LeBron James, Dejounte Murray and Anthony Davis would be an excellent just building block, right? That'd be a great position to be in. Imagine if you had Dejounte Murray and Anthony Davis as like your building blocks going forward. It's a good spot to be in. Right? Especially if Dejounte Murray can get back to that all-star level 3-and-D style point guard that is excellent on ball, go get you 25 and 9, right? Like that would be ideal, right? Because now you have that point of attack guard, you have that athletic, basically Swiss Army knife point guard, you got your incredible Swiss Army knife type center, right? And then now you're just filling in the gaps the rest of the way. Now you're looking to just go get a quality, maybe 3-and-D shooting guard, quality 3-and-D small forward, and then, a legit, hopefully 2-way power forward, right? Like that would be nice. And you have your foundation and building block. But again, if you don't look at Dejounte Murray as that piece, then go look elsewhere, right? And then, if you can always go, like if you get to the realization of like, okay, well, we need Dejounte Murray, then go trade for Dejounte Murray at a later time. But I still think the Lakers should get some stuff done now, right? Look, if another team's going to get Dejounte Murray, another team is going to get Dejounte Murray regardless. So the idea of like, oh, well, if we wait till the trade deadline, like, doesn't matter. Lakers are extremely limited in assets. There are a handful of teams that have been rumored to be interested in Dejounte Murray that could just go trade for Dejounte Murray to keep him from the Lakers if they wanted to and still have assets to go do other things, right? So the Lakers aren't in a huge position of like, oh, like we're the only team. It's not like a Zach LaVine situation where it's like, well, we're basically the only team that has any interest in Zach LaVine, right? It's not that kind of situation. Dejounte Murray, many teams would be willing to get, and especially if they can get him at a reasonable price. Because, I mean, if you're another team, you're just looking at it and going, can we beat D'Lo, Jalen Hood-Schifino in a first? Probably. Especially if Atlanta doesn't want to keep any long-term salary. But also, there was the report that the Lakers would have to find a third team for D'Lo. And that could be what's kind of causing the stalls, right? You got this, you got to go find that third team. You got to go send D'Lo elsewhere. I've proposed the Spurs. I'm definitely planning on making a video kind of breaking that down soon. But, you do something like that where it's like, okay, well, you're sending D'Lo to this third team. We're getting back Dejounte Murray. Maybe we're getting back a second or two from that team for getting D'Lo, right? Like, the reason I think the Spurs, because Spurs need a point guard, and if they could get D'Lo for basically like 2 seconds or a second, like that's a home run. You're basically getting D'Lo for free, throwing in some expiring contracts. Atlanta gets some expiring deals, and then they get, Jalen Hood-Schifino and a first-round pick, and then maybe like 2 seconds or something from the Spurs. That's great. A win-win for everybody, right? But I don't know. Like, I do think the Lakers will very likely ultimately get the deal done for Dejounte Murray. You're seeing a lot of teams, again, based on reports. So we'll see. You never really know, right? Like, look at Kyrie with Dallas. Dallas was rumored to potentially be interested in Kyrie, and then Dallas was like, no, we're not. We're good. And then ultimately Dallas ended up trading for him, right? So, which a lot of that was just Luka, the concern of Luka, and Luka being upset and potentially wanting out. So they were like, we got to do something. Let's go get Kyrie. Otherwise, like, if there wasn't those complaints or concerns about Luka, I don't think that they would have traded for Kyrie. But, that's kind of the other side of like the Dejounte Murray thing. But you're seeing teams like the Knicks, the Sixers, and even the Heat. Several other teams have basically kind of been like, hey, we don't think Dejounte Murray is the right direction for us, which is good. The more teams that drop out, the more likely it is that the Lakers get the deal done for the type of deal that they want, right? Rather than having to sell the farm. So that is something that benefits the Lakers. But again, any of those teams could just go, hey, you know what? We changed our mind and just go snag Dejounte Murray. So it is a bit of a concern. So hopefully they get it done, right? Look, I've talked about it from the beginning. Like, I don't mind Dejounte Murray. I like Dejounte Murray. I think he's an excellent player, but there's a lot of concerns, like his fit alongside LeBron James. However, LeBron James, these last at least couple games since coming back from the game that he missed, he's been far more willing to play off ball. And he's been far more willing to allow his point guard in D'Angelo Russell to run point guard. So if he's willing to do that for D'Lo, I would assume he's willing to do that for Dejounte Murray. And if Dejounte Murray is allowed to play point guard, then I could see them having some success, especially if he can continue to shoot the way he's been shooting. There are concerns about the defense side of things, but I could see him bouncing back just because he'd have guys like Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, even Cam Reddish has been really good defensively for the Lakers. So you got like the defensive pieces to kind of help him to where he's not doing everything by himself. So I think he would really elevate in that regard. But time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you still want Dejounte Murray? Do you think Dejounte Murray gets traded? Do you think that this is just kind of a tactic for the Lakers? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.